Today we are going to be making fried gizzards and poppy seed salad. So here I'm making my own buttermilk, and I'm starting out with a half a cup of milk and a tablespoon of lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, feel free to use vinegar. I thought this would be a good chance to show you how to make buttermilk in case you don't want to go to the store and get a huge thing for just one recipe. So basically I'm squeezing out the juice of a lemon. It's going to come out to a half a tablespoon, and as you can see, there was a little bit of milk left in that measuring cup, and you can see it started to thicken up as soon as I put the lemon in there. So now I've incorporated the lemon juice along with the milk, and you can see the consistency has changed. We're going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes to continue to thicken up. And that's our buttermilk. Now we're moving on to the spices that I'm going to use for my gizzards. And you can read the screen there and see what I've used. Feel free to substitute or use exactly what I've used, or use whatever seasoning that you would use to fry chicken or to season any type of meat. And here I am just adding my seasoning to my bowl of gizzards. I decided not to mix all of those seasonings together. I'm going one by one, and I'm adding them, ensuring that they are all well incorporated. And I'm not using all of the seasoning because I'm going to add that to my flour that I'm using as a coating here. And I'll incorporate that in just a few minutes. So now I am making sure that the gizzards are well coated with all the seasoning. And they are. Now we're moving on to the flour, and that's actually 2 cups of flour, and I'm just using a wire whisk to make sure that all of the seasoning is well incorporated into the flour. And we're going to triple dip or triple coat these gizzards. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dip them in the flour first, then I'm going to dip them in the buttermilk, back into the flour, back into the buttermilk, and back into the flour. Then I'm going to put them over there in that black dish, and I'm going to let them rest for a minute because I want my coating to stick to the gizzards. I'm going to do it one more time on camera to show you what I did. First in the flour, then the buttermilk, back in the flour, back in the buttermilk, back in the flour, and then off to the side. Now, I thought I was ready to fry, but my oil is super duper hot, way too hot. But I decided to keep this in the video because I want to show you what happens when you fry something and your oil is up too high. I have a ceramic stove here in this apartment. It's not like the fire stove that I had before. I actually prefer fire. So you have to gauge your temperature when you're using electric, or a ceramic stove. So as soon as I dropped this gizzard into the oil, it immediately started to brown. Now it's a nice golden color, but it's nowhere near done. And that's exactly what I do not want. So I'm adding the rest of my gizzards into the hot oil. I've turned my oil down, but I've added the rest of my gizzards into the hot oil because what I'm going to do is allow them to brown. And then I'm going to take them out of the oil, and I'm going to bake this particular batch in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. And that way they'll come out tender and they'll be cooked fully. So anytime you are making a dish or frying something and your oil is up too high, that's also an option for you if you don't want to throw everything out, just go ahead and it's almost like searing a piece of meat. Go ahead and allow the coating to cook through, and then you can finish it out in the oven because you already have that crispy crunch that you're looking for. And that would be another way to actually make these gizzards. I did not do this on purpose. This was an accident. But hey, this is a cook and learn show, so I thought I'd leave it in. So here I'm removing them, putting them in that glass dish, and like I said, I'll put them in the oven. So now my oil has actually cooled down quite a bit. And so my next batch that I'm going to introduce into the oil is going to be perfect. And I won't have to put those in the oven, and you'll see here in just a second. Perfect. So you can see it's still frying, but it doesn't have that bubble and that ripple of oil. The temperature is perfect here, and we're gonna cook those on each side for about 5 minutes. I've added more, and as you can see, they are golden brown, but they've already been cooking on both sides for about 5 minutes. And that's the way I want them to look, so that they'll be tender and they won't be rubbery when I take them out. So here I'm just turning them and I'm showing you the spices and what they look like. Perfect. Next, we're going to make a salad. And I use that salad kit, and I add some corn, some cranberries, and some chopped red onions and some cashews. I add that to the salad kit. And then I also add some poppy seed dressing. My favorite is Brianna's brand. It's really, really, really good. I could eat salad all day with that. And if they don't have that, then I'll use the Simply Nature poppy seed brand. So when you're adding this salad dressing to this salad, you don't want to add so much that it wilts the lettuce in the mix. You just basically want to coat it so that the salad stays crispy and crunchy. And here are my finished gizzards, and I'm now adding the salad to the plate. And here is the finished dish, and I must tell you, it was delicious, delicious. The gizzards were nice and crunchy. So thanks for watching, and I hope you make this dish